without getting paid.
But you see how much kidnappers are taking from victims.
My thing is, government should, I think all the stakeholders in that together, and I think we get that. The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
But the support that is needed, and once you get the support, your airline people will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Good morning. Welcome to the first edition of the week of Inside Nigeria, reaching you on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Gbebo, and I'm your host, your only host on today's program. We'll be reviewing papers, and of course, as usual, we have 4 papers on our menu. Nigeria's most influential leadership, the sister publication, National Economy, THISDAY newspaper, and The Nation. These are papers we are looking at their headlines this morning. And unfortunately, I also want to apologize for coming a bit behind schedule. We're tackling with some technical hitch, but we are here right now. Stay tuned, don't go away. Leadership. Let's see what leadership is leading with this Monday, June 27th, 2022. Killings. Zamfara Benue asks residents to take up arms against bandits. Killings. Zamfara Benue asks residents to take up arms against bandits. Niger Plateau warn of long-term implications. Is unlawful, dangerous, say lawyers. Zamfara people are fed up with everyday killings. Dagash. Defense headquarters, police keep mum. I'll take the leading story again. Killings. Zamfara Benue asks residents to take up arms against bandits. Niger Plateau warn of long-term implications. Is unlawful, dangerous, lawyers say. Zamfara people are fed up with everyday killings, according to Dagash. The White Defense Headquarters, police keep mum. This is the headline story on leadership this Monday. And the story, for more on the stories, it is on page 4. Let's just have a snippet of the news, of the headline news. Let's move over to page 4 of leadership. Yes. The rising spate of banditry attacks has forced the Zamfara and Benue state governments to ask their citizens to arm themselves with weapons for self-defense. The Zamfara state government said it was ready to facilitate the securing of basic weapons for the people, especially farmers, to defend themselves against raiders. A press statement signed and issued by the State Commissioner for Information, Ibrahim Magajo Dosara, said the Commissioner of Police had been directed to issue gun licenses to those eligible to bear arms. He stated that people must apply from the Commissioner of Police the license to own guns and such other basic weapons to be used in defending themselves. Part of the statement reads, it further stated that the state government had requested the State House of Assembly to pass, as a matter of urgency, the informants bill before it to enable the government take drastic measures on informants as contained in the bill. Meanwhile, lawyers say it is unlawful, dangerous. Some lawyers in the country yesterday described as unlawful the directive by the state governor of Zamfara State, Alhaji Bello Matawale, for the state's indigenes to begin to bear arms to confront terrorists. According to them, before such a directive can be enforced, it must be backed by law. A senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Abdul Balogun, said our law book frowns at unauthorized citizens bearing arms. Meanwhile, Zamfara government fed up with everyday killings. Dagash. Former Chief of Defense Staff Air Marshal Alami Musa Dagash, retired, said the Zamfara state government's order to its citizens to procure arms for self-defense must have been out of frustration, as killings in the state had continued with little or nothing to stop it. While Plateau government on its part says Zamfara is not our benchmark. The Plateau State Commissioner of Information and Communication, Mr. Dan Majang, when contacted, told our correspondent that Zamfara State is not a case study for Plateau State. According to him, the insecurity in Zamfara State is as a result of bandit attacks and kidnapping. In Niger State, the Commissioner of Internal Security, Emmanuel Umar, said the state is not encouraging citizens to possess small and light firearms because of its long-term implications on general security. He said that at the end, it will lead to proliferation of arms, which will be difficult to control. That's all we are taking on the leading story on leadership this Monday. Zamfara Benue to bear arms. Let's see what other stories there are on the cover of leadership. Let's move over again to the cover leadership newspaper. On above the masthead of leadership newspaper, pardon, stringent conditions delaying Darie Inyame orders release. Pardon, stringent conditions delaying Darie Inyame orders release. The story is on page 6 of leadership. 1.5 billion naira debt. 15,000 Kano students to miss NECO examination. 1.5 billion naira debt. 15,000 Kano students to miss NECO examination. The story is on page 12 of leadership. Let's see what other stories there are on the cover. Yes, just beneath the masthead of leadership. No, above, there's a business story. Yes. Abuja Kaduna train attack. Passengers shown Lagos Ibadan rail corridor. Abuja Kaduna train attack. Passengers shown Lagos Ibadan rail corridor. While revenue drops below 50%. Revenue drops below 50%. For more on the stories on page 7 of leadership. Still on leadership newspaper, let's see what the paper is saying this Monday, June 27th, 2022. Beneath the paper. Okay. Ekweremadu, donor's passport valid, genuine immigration. Ekweremadu, donor's passport valid, genuine immigration. Ekweremadu, donor's passport valid, genuine, according to immigration. And on page 12 of the paper, we have a story. Woman pays assassin 7,000 naira to kill husband in Adamawa. Wow. Woman pays assassin 7,000 naira to kill husband in Adamawa. The story is on page 12 of leadership this Monday. Yes, from leadership, let's move over to THISDAY newspaper. THISDAY is still the leading story, the same leading story on leadership that is making the headline story on THISDAY this Monday. Get guns and defend yourselves, Matawale tells Zamfara people. Get guns and defend yourselves, Matawale tells Zamfara people. Instruct CP to issue licenses to willing citizens. Shuts markets, filling stations into council areas. Other security forces to shoot on sight Okada riders in restricted areas. Terrorists allegedly ban political activities in Kaduna communities. Autumn attributes federal government's inability to curtail killings to hidden agenda. Uzodinma grants 10 days amnesty to bandits, says they will face bombardment thereafter. Leading story on this day. Get guns and defend yourselves. Matawale, that is the state governor, tells Zamfara people. Instruct CP to issue licenses to willing citizens. Shuts markets, filling stations into council areas. Other security forces to shoot on sight Okada riders in restricted areas. Terrorists allegedly banned political activities in Kaduna communities. Autumn attributes federal government's inability to curtail killings to hidden agenda. Hope Uzodinma, and governor of Imo State, grants 10 days amnesty to bandits, says they will face bombardment thereafter. That's the story on this day. From still on this day, let's move over to the story above his masthead. UTM offshore. Afrexim Bank signed project preparation facility financing deal. Nigeria's first FLNG project gets a boost. UTM Offshore, Afrexim Bank signed project preparation facility financing deal as Nigeria's first FLNG project gets a boost. And the strip after the story, still above the masthead of this day, we have a story on page 6. Is the story is on page 6. It says again NNPC fails to remit monies to federation account in May as petrol subsidy hits 1.227 trillion naira. Again, NNPC fails to remit monies to federation account in May as petrol subsidy hits 1.27 trillion naira. For more on the story is on page 6 of the paper. Beneath the masthead, Ekweremadu, immigration affirms alleged kidney donor is 21 years old. Ekweremadu, immigration affirms alleged kidney donor is 21 years old. The story on the Ekwemadu's harrowing experience still in UK is still a developing story, and the immigration officials have come to say that the alleged kidney donor is 21 years of age and not 15 as allegedly reported. The story is on page 8 of this day. From this day newspaper, we move over to the next paper we have on our menu, and that is The Nation. The Nation's headline story still on worsening insecurity in the land. Governors takes 10 steps to battle worsening insecurity. Governors takes 10 steps to battle worsening insecurity. That's the headline story of The Nation. Riders, Matawale asks residents to buy guns. OK shoot on site for motorcyclists. Makinde to hire 500 more for Amotekun. Ondo Assembly to tighten Amotekun law after Akeredolu's compulsory CCTV order. Uzodinma issues ultimatum to bandits. Guns directive, SANS says is evidence of security breakdown. And SIG says is recipe for more crisis. The stories are on page 6 of The Nation. But however, let's take the leading story to again. Governors take 10 steps to battle worsening insecurity. Matawale asks residents to buy guns. OK shoot on site for motorcyclists. Makinde to hire 500 more for Amotekun. Ondo Assembly to tighten Amotekun law after Akeredolu's compulsory CCTV order. Uzodinma issues ultimatum to bandits. Above the masthead of The Nation, let's see what The Nation still has more stories for us. Above the masthead of The Nation, ASU strike Buhari to decide on UTAS for varsity teacher. ASU strike Buhari to decide on UTAS for varsity teacher. The story is on page 7 of The Nation. CJM proposes 29 justices for Supreme Court. CJN proposes 29 justices for Supreme Court. SANS shunned NBA kicks. CJN proposes 29 justices for Supreme Court. SANS shunned NBA kicks. The story is on page 5 of The Nation. 10,000 Osun PDP members defect to APC. Story on page 7. Soludo attacks Obi, says Abga is third force. Story on page 7 of The Nation newspaper. Meanwhile, there's a strip just beneath the masthead. It says Catholic priest dies in kidnappers' custody. Buhari back from Kigali. That's all we can take from the Nation newspaper this Monday. And from there, we move over to the last paper we have on our menu, talking of our sister publication, National Economy. National Economy. Fuel scarcity. Federal government in dilemma over deregulation subsidy payments. Fuel scarcity. Federal government in dilemma over deregulation subsidy payment. Marketers say current supply framework cannot guarantee end to scarcity. Fuel scarcity. Federal government in dilemma over deregulation subsidy payment. Marketers say current supply framework cannot guarantee end to scarcity, as the current scarcity of fuel subjects Nigerians to more misery at filling stations across the nation. The federal government seems to be faced with the dilemma of deregulating the downstream oil sector or sustaining the payment of petrol subsidy, which has already surpassed 4 trillion naira and projected by the IMF to exceed 8 trillion naira in the 2022 fiscal year. The Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, MOMAN, has consequently recommended a gradual price deregulation with targeted palliatives, transport and agricultural subsidies to the public to ease implementation, citing that the current supply framework cannot guarantee steady and consistent supplies to the country, given the current state of government finances and unpredictable international supply shortages. According to MOMA, as part of permanent measures to curb fuel scarcity, marketers should also be allowed free and fair play in the importation of products. However, MOMA chairman Olumide Adeosun said oil marketers have consistently complained about their inability to import products due to forex scarcity, rising inflation, including excess and multiple import charges and taxes by the customs and relevant government agencies. That is just a snippet from the headline story of fuel scarcity, federal government in dilemma over deregulation subsidy payment. For more on the stories, you can log to the website of National Economy to read it. Well, viewers, that's where we call it a day on today's Inside Nigeria. I've been alone in the studio reviewing the papers, what the papers are saying this Monday. For more on the stories, you can log on to their website to read more on and get more details. My name is Winifred Igwebo. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, same time, same station. I remain Winifred Igwebo and remain blessed. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.